Get ready with me while I tell you the story of how my mom and I both got divorced, left our husbands within like 3 days of each other. I was born and raised Mormon. My family was Mormon. I stopped going to church when I was like a teenager. My preferred range is 35 to 40. I'm 24 for reference. Part 3 of why dating older guys is the best is because you know like 3 days out of the week, they're just watching football. And he said, I feel like you don't respect me as a man. And I said, well, I don't respect you as a man because you don't act like a man.
That's such a weird thing to say to someone. Be softer, be more feminine. How about lick on my nuts?
Somebody tell me what it is about me that only attracts men who want to be taken care of.
Well, we see from the previous video, ma'am, that you are very masculine. So, of course, that's the kind of guys you will attract.
I have no boyfriend and nobody would ever love me enough to make me one of these, so TikTok will be fulfilling this fantasy for me. Put a finger down if when you were 15 years old you tried to yourself, and while you were in the mental hospital recovering for like a weekend, your family went to Disneyland without you.
And I know a lot of you guys will say, I can change her. No, my guy, stop being a simp. You can't.
Not only do I not give a but,
You will never find a man because you do only simps.
I don't give a
This right here is part of the problem with some men nowadays. Not all men, but obviously.
The man that you described brings a lot. What are you bringing? Nothing, absolutely nothing. She's a single mother, she's divorced, and she does only simps.
Some men, especially in my generation. Because if you as a man are looking to receive a bunch, well, what does the woman bring to the table? That tells me that you are in your feminine energy. The feminine energy is a receiving energy. Put a finger down if when you were 13 years old, your parents told you that the next day they'd be taking you to a group home in Utah, which I'm from California, and you'd be there for a minimum of 9 months, possibly up to 2 years. And the only way you could communicate with anybody was by letter once a month. Number one thing that I think is most important is, does he have a track record of dating younger women? This is an immediate no from me. I think that you should be the first woman that they've been with like the age gap.
So what makes you think that if he is attracted to younger women and he has the options to date younger women, why would you be the first? I don't get it. But if we as men tell them, I want to be your first, oh, I'm a misogynist, my body count doesn't matter.
Otherwise, it's too much of a red flag. It gives me the ick so fucking bad when a Christian's like, can I pray for you?
I faked my baby. I faked a pregnancy.
This young woman named Danielle says her boyfriend was breaking up with her, so she used Fake a Baby to save the relationship by convincing her boyfriend that she was pregnant.
Holy cow, really? Yes.
Fake a Baby even sells ultrasound videos, positive pregnancy tests, and doctored hospital records.
They have no shame, they give interviews and they admit everything they've done. But if I say something wrong about women, I would get cancelled.
There was a document from a local hospital stating she was pregnant.
This guy says he fell for it too.
I was very convinced that she was pregnant.
Eric Neville of State College, Pennsylvania, says his girlfriend used a sonogram and documents like this to con him into proposing. He says he spent thousands of dollars leasing a new house big enough for the three of them.
She played me like a fiddle.
Do you know how much money you have to make in order to be in the top 1% in worldwide terms?
Oh, worldwide terms, it's a lower number.
We're not
$53,000 a year?
It's 32.
32,000 a year.
Okay guys, so if you're from the West and you're making over 32K a year, just remember in other countries you will be in the top 1%.
Did a video on that, $32,000.
You make $32,000 a year, you're in the top 1%.
Yes.
So I just heard a woman on a podcast admit that she's been cheating on her husband and he found out. And so they ended up going to therapy, but then plot twist, she is taking zero accountability and she's playing the victim card.
Of course.
She even goes on to say that the therapist agreed with her, telling her that the husband drove her to do it.
And if the therapist doesn't agree with her, she will say, well, let's change the therapist because I know I'm not wrong. That therapist has something against me.
Lack of accountability amongst women these days is unreal.
True.
You guys cheat, it's the husband's fault. The guy cheats on you, it's also his fault.
Yeah, they always play the victim. Well, I did this because he didn't fulfill me, because he didn't make enough money, because he didn't pay attention closely enough to my emotions. I felt lonely. I felt like he didn't love me anymore.
So sick and tired of seeing women take zero accountability, even when they're the ones that did the action, even when they're the ones that are at fault. Still, zero accountability. And you wonder why men are not pursuing anymore. Then you wonder why.
You know how a typical day unfolds for a stay-at-home husband in Japan with 4 wives and 2 girlfriends? He doesn't work and relies on his women to support him. At 35 years old, Watanabe has 4 wives. Stepping into his home, you'll
And he's not that good looking, so you have to wonder, what is he doing to get those results?
see each woman holding a child. They're all Watanabe's wives, with one yet to make an appearance.
Isn't that illegal in Japan? I don't know the laws there. If there is anybody from Japan that is watching this video, let me know down in the comments. Is this legal or is this a fake?
With Watanabe at the center, they form a household of 8, including 4 wives and 3 children. At 9 in the morning, Watanabe wakes up next to his 3rd wife in their 4-bedroom house. Each wife has her own bedroom. While wives can't intrude into each other's rooms, Watanabe doesn't favor any particular wife and rotates spending nights with each in order.
A man doesn't want a dictatorial woman in his home. The less feminine you are, the more you're going to struggle, the more you're going to be fighting against the biological tide rather than working with it. So what does that look like? First of all, being softer. When you first dated, I guarantee you exuded softness and receptivity. That's how you got them. You immediately went into your feminine because we kind of instinctually know how to do that, but something tends to happen over time. And we've all been there, and it's not anything to feel bad about. It's just to have an awareness of, look, here's what works and here's what doesn't. And if you want to go in the positive direction.
But we all know women lack awareness and accountability.
Think back to when it was easy, and whatever you employed then, do it again.
Basically saying, date your husband.
Yeah.
Be his girlfriend.
Be his girlfriend.
Not his boss.
Not his boss. Whatever it is that you're doing during the day with your kids or at your job, let that be there and learn how to switch gears when you come home at night.
I don't agree with this because if you're a more masculine woman, you can't just flip a switch and then become more feminine. It's like me. If I'm a masculine guy, I'm a masculine guy all the time.
The nerdy guy. Marry him. Instead of playing games with your mind, he'll be playing games on his phone or his Xbox or his PlayStation. I promise you, life is so much simpler when you're dealing with a Star Wars collection and Pokemon cards and not waiting for them to text you back.
Okay, ma'am, you are correct. But what about your past? How many Chads have you dated till you learn this lesson? I don't know how old she is, but usually women only after they reach 30, 35, and the Chads don't give them attention anymore, and they get tired of being played, only then they look for the nice guy.
Or wondering if they're going to call you. If you want to date the guy that's playing mental games and playing with your feelings and ghosting you, that's fine. You can date them.
And why do you think she knows all of this? Because she's been played before.
You can have fun doing that, but marry the nerd. I promise you will thank me.
So basically she's saying, have fun in your 20s with Chad, and then when you're ready to get married, find the nerd, find the nice guy. Yeah. And that's how many men get played. But they don't understand that that woman is not actually happy with them. They're still thinking about Chad.
Like, that thing's giant. How many times bigger is it than Earth? Like...
The moon?
Yeah.
No, not bigger.
Yeah, it is.
How can it be bigger?
The moon. Nah.
You just said you're so into it and you don't know that the moon's bigger than Earth.
And how much you want to bet? Because she looks good, she will have no problem finding a man.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
And it's not only that she's not that smart, because you can teach a woman a lot of things, but just the fact that she's trying to contradict him, That's an argumentative woman that will always think she knows better than you. You will always have arguments with her. You will always have fights with her over all kinds of stuff. It's not worth it, guys. It's not worth it. I've been in relationships like that, and it's not worth it.
I don't think it is.
It is. The moon is bigger than Earth.
Of course, of course.
Surely it has to be. Because when you're looking at the moon from Earth, it's huge. But like, it's so far away from us.
Yeah, that's true. That's the only smart thing that she really said. Because when we are taught at school about the solar system and all the planets, usually the moon is very close to Earth. But in actuality, it's so far away, it's not properly represented in books.
You now have the moon, and so put it where the moon is relative to Earth is the sun.
Where do you think it is?
No, it's not.
Right there. Right about.
That's how we see it in textbooks, but it's not like that.
About there. That's about the right distance. That is way off. Okay. Just start backing up.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Turn around while you're going.
Keep going. That's about right. Yeah. That's about the Earth-Moon distance. Yeah. You know why? You've been lied to by textbooks that have to squeeze them both into the same page.
For real. Women come on this app and talk shit about everything a man does. You talk shit about his height, his weight, the clothes that he wears, the cologne that he has, the friendships that he has, the relationship that he has with his mom. You talk shit about him being a provider. If he's a good provider, then he's a fucking simp. If he's not a provider and he does nothing, then he's a bum. If he works all day to provide for you, then he's working too much and doesn't like you and probably is cheating. But if he doesn't work at all, then he's a bum. If he takes you on a coffee date and actually wants to get to know you, then that's low effort. But if he takes you to
Everything she says is true, but the way that she talks and how fast she talks, it's so off-putting for men. And I bet I'm not the only one. Let me know down in the comments if you think the same.
To a 5-star dining and doesn't say a word, then that means he only wants to get in your pants. You talk shit about whether or not he's husband material based on what your friends are doing. You talk shit about him being emotionally stunted because he can't read your mind. You talk shit about him being a narcissist because he's trying to set boundaries with you and expectations with you and you don't like it. I'll talk shit about his income, and if he doesn't make enough, then he's a bum. If he makes too much and doesn't spoil you, then he's still a bum. If he actually shows interest in you and it cares for you in the beginning of a relationship, then that means he's manipulative and he's love bombing you.
Or he's a simp.
But then if he stops doing all of that stuff altogether, then he's a low effort man and doesn't give a shit about you. And let's not forget entire social media pages dedicated to their deadbeat baby daddies, but right, it's only men talking about the women.
There's not a big pool of good men.
That's a lie.
That's not a lie.
That is a lie.
That's not a lie. Tell me.
Listen, there's not a lot of good men who want y'all. I'm clapping for myself. Where the good man at? Like they hiding under a rock or in a cave. They everywhere. They at the gas station. They at Costco. They at Equinox. They at the bank. They walking right past you and you don't show up on their radar because of the way you are.
Yeah, if they're walking on the street and you're 5'6", 5'7", they don't even know you exist. They don't acknowledge you.
They're gonna walk right by you. Your pretty face ain't gonna go too far because everybody's pretty. That's a prerequisite. Yeah. So if that's all you got to offer, we're not looking at you. But there's plenty good men.
And the men that they want that are over 6 foot or make a certain amount of money, those guys have a lot of options. And it doesn't matter how pretty you are, because there will always be a prettier, younger woman that wants the same kind of guy. That's what they don't understand.
Just don't want your ass. I ain't never heard no woman say, I know I ain't shit. When have you ever heard a woman admit to not being shit? She'll say, this man ain't shit, he ain't shit, he was bad, he was bad, he was bad, he was bad. But for the most part, every woman think they're a good woman. What makes you a good woman? Who's auditing that you're a good woman? You are auditing yourself?
Yeah.
Why don't you ask your exes what they think? Because all your relationships diminished and ended in turmoil.
Key problem I have with marriage as it is done currently here in the West.
Okay.
And in other places, but certainly the clay in which I work, is that there are certain promises the law can enforce, and there are certain promises it can't. So if we acknowledge, if we say the quiet part out loud, that in the majority of heterosexual marriages, the man brings protection and providing, and the woman brings kindness, warmth, and care, right? And
femininity and peace, but most women don't bring that.
Sex. That's the economy. That's the economy. I didn't make that up. Don't get fucking mad at me in the comments. I didn't make it up. It was here before me. It's going to be here after me. I promise, right? So that's the game. That's the economy. His roles, his obligations are enforceable by law. So state power can be used to enforce his obligations, not hers. The court cannot order her to be nice to him.
Yeah, guys, I think I reacted to this video before, but because I didn't watch it, I didn't know. So if you want to skip to the next video. And by the way, guys, if you enjoy my videos, consider subscribing.
Or to fuck him, or to stay pretty, or to stay sweet and friendly to him and kind to him, or speak nicely of him, or raise the children in a meaningful way that, you know, creates value to him instead of teaching them to disrespect him, right?
Yeah.
But his promises in that, shelter, food, financial obligations, court can force you to do that. And if you don't do it, they can put you in jail, or they can take away your driver's license, your professional licenses. So what is that? When you have a contract where only one side is enforceable by law, under penalty of law.
Women don't fall in love with you. They fall in love with the dream of marriage and what you can provide.
And thinking they can change you.
Women marry a lifestyle, not the man most of all. If she doesn't desire permanence with you, she doesn't love you. Women want to be loved. Men want to be respected and appreciated.
Yeah.
How about this? If I say, do you ever have a woman and that woman says, I'm thankful for you? Forget about love. If she is thankful for you and everything you provide her, if she is thankful for everything, that's real love.
Yeah, but most of you've never heard that from your wife or your girlfriend. And I know this because I see your comments.
She lied to me, she lied to my daughter. When she first got pregnant, she said I was the dad. And after 29 years, I come to find out now that I'm not the father.
And Ms. Wandick, you felt the same?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is the man you always knew to be daddy?
Yes, Your Honor.
He's not. He's not. He was just a playmate, Your Honor. I mean, but I know who the biological father is.
But how is that fair to this man and to me for her to be saying that he's just a playmate when from jump you led this man to believe that he was my father the whole 29 years of my life? That's not fair to me. That's not fair to him. I have kids myself asking me which man is this other man or is this man my father or their grandfather. I would have told my kid from jump about possibly having another father. If you loved me, you wouldn't play games with me from jump.
I put Nicole on him, but I know who the father is.
I want to understand. What do you believe was your mother's motivation for creating this type of paternity saga?
Because he was a simp and she realized that and she knew she could trick him. That's why.
Money. Money. When this other man accumulated all this money, that's when she would say, that's who really your dad is. You need to get some money from him. So it was all about the money because that's when she told me.
Mr. Haggerty, you are not the father.
She's crying right now. She tries to play the victim. Ma'am, it doesn't matter. You don't even realize how much this would hurt a man. Finding out that your kid is not actually your kid. I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
That children need both a mother and father whenever possible. Because they serve different biological roles and functions in nurturing. But it is an inconvenient truth. Mothers and fathers produce different nurturing hormones which impact their nurturing behaviors. Mothers produce a lot of oxytocin when they give birth, breastfeed, and care for their young. It makes their behavior more sensitive and empathic, necessary for attachment security. When fathers nurture, they also produce oxytocin. It comes from a different part of their brains.
Yeah.
And it makes them more what we call playful tactile stimulators. They throw the baby up in the air, they tickle the baby, they run around and chase the baby.
And they teach their son from a young age how to be a man, how to deal with certain situations, how to not be so emotional. That's the problem with single mothers. They teach their sons to be very emotional like them, and then they become simps.
They help with separation. Mothers help to regulate emotions such as sadness, distress, and fear, whereas fathers help to regulate aggression and excitement.
they don't help regulate their sons' emotions because they let their sons be very emotional. Oh, you're sad? Be sad. You can be vulnerable. It's not a problem. And then when they start dating and they become vulnerable, they become sad with a woman or they cry, that woman instantly rejects them. Now, that's not in all cases, but I'm talking majorities.
Fathers have more of a hormone called vasopressin, which is called the protective aggressive hormone, which makes fathers, well, protective against predators or those who would harm their children. So fathers and mothers are both important. They're not the same. They serve different functions.
She said it. Out here right now saying, I bring the table to the table. Bring it. If he lost his job right now, or all of the income that this person has, could you provide for the whole family? Is it that insulting for someone to ask you to be able to provide back, to be able to reciprocate? What's wrong with that? Society got you broke ass, bum ass bitches thinking that somebody's supposed to just take care of you all day.
Yeah, guys, this happened to me with my current girlfriend during the pandemic. For 3 months, I couldn't make money for certain reasons. What did she do? She was the one that worked.
No. And then what blows my mind is you think just financial. Can you calm down when this man is talking? Can you listen? Can you hear him out? Can you not play emotional games because everything's about your emotions? Can you check on him and ask him if he's okay? Do you?
Yes, guys, I got a message from a sim today where he said, well, if you don't care about women's emotions, you don't deserve a woman. My guy, just because she feels a certain way, it doesn't make it true. I'm a logical person. If there is a problem, let's fix it. But just because you feel a certain way, that doesn't make it true. There is only one truth, not your version of the truth or his version of the truth. There is only one truth.
Ask your man if he's happy. Do you know how to tend to children? Do you know how to cook? Do you know how to add value to a house if a man fucking buys it? Can you garden? Y'all be wanting niggas to build houses, but you can't even provide food. Well, how are you going to make this man better? Or are you going to tear him down while he provides for you and makes you better?
I had to put this video in, guys, because it's very funny. Just listen to the end.
Last thing that made you cry?
Pepper spray.
What's your favorite book?
Rocky 3.
Do you like Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift? I love that dude. You know, I actually met him once, you heard, in Brooklyn like a year ago at a beef patty store.
What's your dream car?
Mario Kart.
It's a me.
Luigi with the squeegee.
Best advice you've ever given someone?
Yeah, my boy Mike, he's a janitor, but his house is dirty. So I told him he should work from home, you heard?
That's sound advice. What's your favorite Pokemon character?
LeBron James.
Are you dating?
Nah, I'm playing the saxophone, you heard? Of course I'm dating.
What's the best part about dating in 2024?
Free food. Equality.
What's the worst part about dating in 2024?
I hate when I go out on a date and it goes great, but the next day, my wife found out about it.
Hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.